Maybe?
Yes.
We're live!
We're live. We're
Kind
really
of?
here this time. And not kind of. We're here. Uh, sorry, popping out the chat because I actually closed my stream. There we go, perfect. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today's episode of Anime Analytics will be talking about Zankyou no Terror. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Larry. We only have 4 people today, huh? I'm Larry.
Yeah, only 4 people. It's gonna be a relatively short stream.
I'm Silver!
Yeah, what a great lead. I'm Sunny, I'm the Vice President of the Otakus Anonymous. And I like sandwiches. I made 2 sandwiches today. Delicious.
What was in your sandwiches?
Ham and cheese.
That's it?
And lettuce and tomato,
What about
and spices and oils.
condiments?
Yeah.
Okay. That does sound good.
It's delicious.
I'm Mark.
Sorry.
I'm a member of the Otakus Anonymous.
Thank you, Silver. I'm just to go ahead and adjusting the volume for the background music. I'm sorry, guys, if that was super loud in your ears suddenly. Ah, I like that one too. I apologize. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell me how good the volume is in chat? Make sure. MZ, I didn't watch the wrong anime this time like an idiot. Awesome! It wasn't loud, sounds good. Sweet. That's all I want. There we go. I see Danny down there in the general streaming room. My mind is to automatically drag him up. You know?
Wait. He's above us.
Drag him down.
Over in the general streaming.
Yeah. Alright, so today's episode is Zankyou no Terror. This is an anime about... Actually, Larry, why don't you, if it's not too loud where you are, would you like to give us a synopsis of the anime?
Well, he's probably gonna scream out of nowhere, but it's essentially all really about the English title is Terror in Tokyo. Basically, it is a terrorist attack on Tokyo and is conducted by 2 high schoolers. Or they're about high schoolers. And yeah, if I explain any more, it really just ruins the story. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then
We're
oh
gonna
yeah,
talk
there's a
about the
girl
story.
that gets randomly and that gets involved into it. That's really it.
Alright, guys, before watching this anime, what was your thoughts going into it? When I first saw this anime, I actually thought I was watching another anime. I forgot what anime that was now, because I don't think it matters. Oh, no, I remember. It's the one with the girl with the scarf. I thought it was that one, the Yakuza thing.
The girl with the scarf?
Yeah, and there's like this big yellow blob thing destroying a town, and she had to like fight it and shit. I thought I was watching that one, and then I got sucked into this one. And from what I remember, I didn't regret it fully, but we'll get into that. Larry?
Like I always said, I just watch anime with a blank ass mind. I'm just like, hey, don't know what I'm watching. Like I really just don't think about it. But it like first, if we're gonna say first episode impression, first episode was pretty damn interesting. It felt like a Death Note because they're so like, oh, we're super smart teenagers. Ooh, look at us, rebel. Ooh, like that's what it looked like. So, yeah.
Silver?
I mean, when I first heard about this, when it was coming up as a new anime, because I watched this week by week as it came out, I heard about it, and it was supposed to be about terrorism in Japan, and I was like, ooh, this is going to be edgy, especially, like, right now. Like, it's really weird that it's decided to, like, be animated right now when, like, the whole thing, the culture of, like, the entire world was all about, the, like, oh, no, terrorism, whoa, bad, hump, and I was, oh, here's an anime about terrorism. And I was like, oh, this is going to get canceled.
Yeah, what year did it come out? It came out when all that shit was starting to happen, right?
It should have been like, what, 2 years ago? I'll check.
What kind of stuff happened
Yeah,
2 years ago?
double
I know
check.
some like fucked up shit was happening.
Oh, this was 4 years ago. summer 2014.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, 20.
What's happening in summer 14?
Probably look up while we're talking about it. Oh, can someone read Mark's, please?
Mark said I read the synopsis, but never watched an anime like this before with terrorists of that nature. The first episode was really interesting. It got me hooked. It was pretty exciting to keep going. Yeah, first episode was pretty damn good. I really didn't know what to expect. Watch this. Didn't really expect, like... Oh.
Okay. So,
Sonny, what did you think?
yeah. I think we got into these.
I also watched this as it was coming out. There were things this season that were a lot bigger than this, but this was like third, fourth most talked about on the avenues that I look at for discussing anime. And people were so hyped about the first like 3 episodes. I think it was mostly before before 5 comes up, as in the character 5. People were like, "Oh, this is so good. This is, it's like actually so good in so many different ways," and then kind of, past that. But I recall watching it just because everyone said it was like the first episode was really, really good. So I'm like, okay, I need something else to watch this season, so I watched it.
Mm.
I was actually surprised when this was coming out that there wasn't more about it. Like, there wasn't more hype, more people talking about it or anything, considering who created it and who does the soundtrack and everything. So
This came out alongside the second season of Space Dandy and Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun and Sword Art Online Season 2.
Larry, we go ahead and read these.
Really?
For Golden Animation, like
The
I can see
reads
a
the
lot of
Mobies?
stuff.
It came out with a lot of good ones, huh?
And Rail Wars, multi-track
yeah.
drifting.
Ooh.
Mizumobi said, I knew nothing about this before Sunday. I watched the first episode planning to binge it throughout the week. I finished it in a day. Yeah, it's like it's not really an anime. You can just be like, oh, I'll watch like Silver watched it once a week. It was kind of painful watching it once a week because it's like, just let me know what
Yeah.
fucking happens. Like I took a while to actually get around to it, and I did. I binged it in one day, and I just binged it this morning too, so it's fresh in my head. But yeah, it's not really something it's something you want to binge because it's just a continued story, just keeps going and going.
because
Yeah.
it's something that you want to binge, I think watching it week by week and having the forced wait for the next episode with wanting to know what's going on and like what's gonna happen
Yeah, they
gives
did
it
some.
more, like, it gives it more like depth, because you're like, oh, ooh, I can't wait until next
Oh,
week so I
yeah.
can watch this episode and
They
see
did
what
some-
happens.
Oh yeah, they did some hella suspense on that shit.
Yeah, it was like the drama in it and the like thrilling moments that happened, and it was like, no, what's gonna happen, and you have to wait a week. I feel like that gave it more than just binging straight through it.
Mm. So let's just go right into spoiler territories and start talking about just the whole anime in general. Because we got the point that it's all about terrorism. So, if you guys have any particular favorite scenes or favorite characters that you just want to go ahead and mention?
Let's get
Right
the
off the
obvious
bat.
out of the way. Jesus Christ, the English. Oh God. English right there. In its pure form. From 5.
That shit was painful.
Uh,
But they tried.
Yeah, they tried.
yeah, they tried.
Also, I don't like that bitch with the white hair. I just don't like her. Like, come on. I don't like 5. I didn't like 5. I didn't like the main girl.
There was no main girl.
I didn't like Lisa.
You
I
didn't
was
like
like, there's
Lisa?
a side girl. There
You know
was
who's
the
my
side
favorite?
girl.
Oh, he landed upstairs. The fucking cop.
Oh, the cop was
Yeah.
cool.
He was
I
the
wish-
coolest one.
I understand that the cop had to be like good, like he had to be good. But the thing is, it's like, hey, look, there's a new thing coming out. The Sphinx announced a new thing. 5 seconds later, less than 5 seconds later, he's like, I already know exactly what they're planning and exactly what the answer is. All this shit, exactly what avenues to go down to figure out what's going on here. And I'm like, that is Oh,
Well, I
it
feel
would
like
take a lot more time.
I feel like he's the kind of character that is always thinking outside of the box, which is why he was so good at his job.
Yeah, but
Which is
you
why
don't get it
he would be.
instantly. Is the
Well,
thing.
I've met some people like that. Fuck you.
Yeah, there are people
Assholes.
that actually do
And
things
it's
like
like,
that.
yeah,
Like they'll start watching a TV show and go, "Oh, I know exactly how it's gonna end. This character's
yeah,
gonna
like
die,
fucking
and that
Diggy.
character's gonna."
I just kept quiet. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think he's just one of those characters who was he was
But
good at his job,
kinda
but he was
feel like-
also a nuisance.
I kind of feel like predicting people's real movements is completely different than predicting the outcome of a story.
Yeah, us watching something is one thing, but he is a character in a story of his own.
Yeah, so he shouldn't be
As
able
an
to
investigator,
predict it.
You don't just figure it out immediately, and even if you do figure it out immediately, you don't just immediately say, "This is the only course." You second guess yourself. You have to keep thinking about it. He never really seems to. He just kind of, this is going to be the answer, and then he goes down that and figures out the answer, and everything turns out well.
Right. But so when you say like us watching a show and predicting, and he's an investigator, the reason why we can predict shows and figure out what's going to happen is because we have lots of experience watching
Yeah.
shows.
The
Him as an
cliches.
investigator, he has years and years of experience as an investigator investigating things. So I can see where the whole just jumping right and figuring it out, but I agree with you that he, as an investigator, he should still go through the motions of, well, oh, let me make sure, even
Yeah.
if he already knows. Like, I mean,
He was so
Years of
confident.
investigative experience would lead him to thinking about it, forming a hypothesis, testing it, going through, thinking it over twice, thinking it over 3 times.
Wait.
going through it.
Hypothesis is the scientific approach, not the detective approach. I don't think they sound
Yes.
completely different.
Investigators do form a hypothesis. It's just not the one you're thinking of.
I mean, makes
you
sense,
have to
but
think,
but
what
okay,
are they
the testing
going for,
part.
and then you have to try
The
to
testing
prove.
part. The testing part sounds wrong. You can't really test in that kind of environment.
So when you're investigating someone for a crime, you have to think, what is their motive? How did they do it? And so on. You can think, I think this might be why they did this. And then you investigate and try to see more that brings you to a definitive conclusion that that is what they did. This character immediately leaps to the conclusion. And he never really second guesses himself. And that's why, I mean, I love the character. The investigator is my favorite character. It's
I don't
just,
think-
he
I don't
seems
feel
a
like
little
he-
too good at what he does.
I don't feel like he
So-
jumped to the conclusion. Well, another thing was that if he wasn't so good, there's no way they could fucking finish this in 12 episodes. There's just no fucking
11.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can show him thinking off screen. You can give a
Yeah.
time skip and have it be like him
Oh.
thinking for a few hours. But it's always, there's an announcement of an attack by Sphinx. He sees it and he immediately rushes off to do something. Because he gave it 5 seconds of thought and he immediately knows where to go with it. And that turns out to be the right path.
because I would have to say that this anime as a whole wasn't too concerned about
Yeah.
character. Like, there's not a lot of character building throughout the thing. Like, it's like, here's characters, and some of these things that these characters do, we don't care. It's just to push the plot forward. This
It
is
does.
all about the story, the whole.
It does
like,
feel like they're trying to be
as a whole.
realistic, though. They try to be
Yeah, it does
realistic
give a
with a
feel of
lot of
realism.
things in this show.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying,
again,
with the detective, they don't really hit it.
yeah, the detective just, going for it. I'm pretty sure that's just supposed to be a plot device to be like, yeah, let's go move the story forward. Boom. They didn't want to have to be like, oh, well, he went off and, it was sitting at his desk thinking about it for 6 hours, and then he came up with the answer. Just, no, yeah, he's got the answer. Let's go. Let's get this plot moving.
Does anyone want to go ahead and read from the top of where Kin started talking?
Silver.
Yeah, hold on. I muted my mic because. Ooh, give me 1 second. I got a little bit of gas going on.
Don't worry. I love the music I found, by the way. It's not exactly the music for the anime, but it is it's pretty nice.
Fun fact: same person who did the music did Cowboy Bebop and Space Dandy.
I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool.
So thanks, Larry. I was waiting. I mentioned it earlier. I mean, all right, hold on. I'm gonna read chat first. All right, so well, that one gift didn't have the quality of the motorcycle light trails from Akira, so 0 of 10. All right, that's perfectly valid. I agree. Zmoby says, God, the English, everybody was okay except for 5. What the hell happened? I didn't watch it in English. I have no idea. I don't
just
like English.
No, it's
voice
not that.
actors.
It's
The
not in
English in the
English. It's
Japanese
that
version.
the English in the Japanese version. Because
Yeah.
everyone who was American was like, "Oh, okay, you're American," but 5, like, she had
5 wasn't
hard.
supposed to be American.
She's not, but like her
Yeah, but
English accent was
Jesus.
just bad. It was like,
Oh, yeah, it was
ooh.
terrible.
It was too much.
Mark says, for some reason, I didn't really mind Lisa. I usually dislike characters like her where she's kind of weak and not exactly too helpful, but I feel like her kind of character was needed for the two main guys, and not a kind of assertive one. The main detective, Shibazaki, I thought was really cool. I liked his character and how he wanted to understand the two main boys. Shibazaki was the only one who tried to stay on course with the riddles. I feel like everything would have went a lot smoother if he was in charge and had no obstacles. He saw every angle to the situation, which I thought was pretty cool. I see what Sonny is saying, though, how he never second-guessed himself. I think it was mainly due to the time limit the detectives had. They had to find a solution and fast. They didn't have the luxury to question everything. And what Larry was saying about the music, earlier when I said I'm surprised there wasn't more hype about this anime, seeing who directed it and who did the music, because the music is Yoko Kanno, same, Cowboy Bebop, all good things. But then the director is Watanabe, which is also Cowboy Bebop and Space Dandy. Like, it's the same combination for like all of the other shows. Like, Space Dandy came out during at the same time as this, and I was just like, well, how come nobody's paying attention to this? This is good too.
I had no idea about that. How'd you guys feel about the ending of the anime? I remember not feeling too happy about it. I mean, it wasn't because, spoilers, our two main boy protagonists get fucking shot like dogs. But, I just remember not being too happy about, how they were found. And how something... Forgive me, I forgot the ending of the anime.
Nothing. They got shot. That's pretty much it.
They got shot, but what was their last thing they needed to do? Like, their last act of terrorism?
Nothing. They were done. They completed it. And at that very ending where they were just messing around, they were done. They finished
No,
their
I'm
goal.
talking about before that, because they were like
they're supposed to nuke
run
the
away.
city.
The EMP.
The EMP nuke the city. But it wasn't a nuke. It was just an EMP instead.
I mean, it was a nuke. It
I
was
mean,
just
it
a
was
nuke
a nuke.
detonated above so that it would
So
short
it
everything out.
wouldn't actually kill the city. It was just
It's still a
nuke.
nuclear device, and there's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
going to be fallout.
Airburst.
Yep. But that was their
And
last act
they-
of terrorism.
Yeah, but they failed?
No, they didn't want to destroy the city. They never meant
Okay.
to. Their whole at the very end, it talked. The detective said that asked what their goal was, and their goal the entire time was just to bring light to a certain organization that was happening
Okay,
underneath the government. That was it.
The one that
They-
made them who they are.
The one that made them who they are. Yeah, the special raising facility thing.
The special raising facility.
Project Athena.
I remember not... I don't know. I know that they're not good guys. I know they're not supposed to, like, live if they keep doing fucked up shit. Or it's not supposed to go without punishment. But I don't want to say I enjoyed necessarily their characters, but I felt kind of upset when they died. I think that's all I took from it.
I wouldn't say that I like I have a problem with stories when they don't get me to adequately care about the main characters, like 12 and 9. I mean, you've got Lisa, but Lisa doesn't matter, really.
No,
She's
she
like
doesn't.
kind of the catalyst that is a weakness to them and makes the characters feel more human, but it doesn't make them feel human enough, especially 9, because 9 doesn't care, but 12 cares about her. 12 seems like, I mean, he's always got that smile. He seems like a sociopath no matter what. Despite that, I still did care at the end when they died. And I think that's at least done rather well, but I still didn't care about the characters themselves as much. The message they were trying to convey could be conveyed in a lot more, you know, not terrible ways, but they were, you know, it's experimenting on 26, I think, children with the drug that they were doing to attempt to make, what were they, like,
Super soldiers?
savant syndrome? Yeah, savant
Something
syndrome.
like that. They would like.
Yeah. People with exceptional abilities, and they were trying to, I guess, genetically engineer them with the drug.
Yeah.
But there are more ways to bring that out than that, but they didn't have that much time, as it was said, because they were going to die soon anyway, because of the drug.
And like I said earlier, it didn't seem like this was very character driven. They didn't put a lot into the characters. It was more plot / story. Like, it's about the overall story. So like when you say like, oh, I mean, the characters could have been done a little better. It's like it seemed like to me overall that part didn't matter. They didn't care about that. They were trying to get like an overall point of like experimentation on children and terrorism and whoa, here's the story. Don't do this. It's bad.
Larry, how did you feel about the ending?
Ending was I don't know. It's not like my heart sank or anything for them. It was like, oh, this is what was supposed to happen. Sorry, it was like, you know, that's what was supposed to happen. I didn't really feel like it was anything like special.
Right. It felt
like, oh, that's the end of the story. That's it. It was a good ending because at the end, I like the layout of this anime. Because like Sunny said, well, he didn't like the first 6 episodes. I didn't really like the beginning too. Because like, all right, they're doing a bunch of shit. Why?
No,
It's
I liked the first 6 episodes.
Oh, you did? I didn't like.
I liked the first half. I didn't like the second half.
I think
Because
I
I
liked
didn't-
the first half.
like how I feel was like bouncing back and forth too. It was like like it bounced back and forth to how I liked the anime because it was like cool. Oh wait, you know they're doing a lot of terrorist shit. What's their fucking story? And then you get this bullshit like, oh okay, now we're starting to get okay. And this other bitch comes in when we thought she was supposed to be dead, and it's like aren't you supposed to be dead? Hello, and then she fucking kills herself, and it's like, oh, I never won a single game against you, and then she kills herself, and it's like, what the fuck, man? Like it's really fucking stupid. But then the ending was just like, you know, then as you gradually get to a story, you start getting the idea of what's happening and why they're doing this. And it's like, okay, now everything makes sense. So, you know, towards the end of the story, it really was just the end of the anime. It's nothing like, oh, I'm gonna cry. I don't know, like.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
can't-
not. It doesn't
Like,
hit
like
the
the
emotions.
like you could say you knew what was gonna happen. You know, just as much as they knew they were gonna get captured, you kind of knew like, oh, this is how it's gonna end. I guess the only part was like, you know, everything got exposed, blah blah blah, like, but they're either gonna go to jail or die. You know, like the happy ending would have been like they ran away and like were able to escape and you know lived in some you know place where no one could find them. Cool, but that didn't happen. So, yeah.
Well, who wants a happy ending for terrorists?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like they're terrorists, like they're gonna get fucking hunted down, but you know, like, you know.
I mean, they were legitimately terrorists doing
Yeah, they were.
terrorist acts.
Actually, by definition, they weren't seeking to cause fear necessarily. their intent was like, oh, we don't kill people, but we're trying to get people's attention to bring a message across.
So
But they're not killing anyone.
they're not
which is
killing
weird.
anyone. Okay, so you don't have to kill anyone to be a terrorist. Their acts were still causing fear and disrupting everyday
If the intention
life.
was to cause fear, then yes, they were. But they were more just trying to get attention, which they could also do much better ways. But they're not 100% like. The definition is hard to say because
They were
what people are perceiving and their intentions are different.
So
also,
it's
that
all
building
about
at the start, someone would have died. At least one person would have died. They said nobody died. That's bullshit.
Either way, the perception and the so just because they were blowing stuff up to bring attention to something else. They might not have been trying to be terrorists, but they were being terrorists.
To themselves, they weren't. Knowing the whole story, they weren't. But to everyone else, they were.
Yeah, they were committing acts of terrorism to them for a good reason, sure. I mean, it was the only way they were going to have the entire testing thing and what was it, Athena? Yeah, Project Athena be revealed and all that stuff. So they had good reason for it, but it's still, I mean,
I wouldn't say that's a good reason.
To them, they had a good reason for what they were doing. They were trying to do something. They went
They
about
should have
it
been smarter about it. They were
went
really
about it in a
smart.
wrong
They could
way,
have found a better way.
But considering, they knew they were going to die anyway, eventually, and they didn't have a long time, this is probably what they did was probably the fastest way to bring light to things.
Couldn't they have just included, as soon as they did that information dump online, the quote bomb that was actually just a bunch of information on their investigation? Couldn't they have just also leaked all the information on Project Athena right there and then been done? Because everyone would have read it.
Everyone would have read it, but would everyone have believed it? I mean, look at how WikiLeaks works and dropping information about things that are happening in the U.S. government or even other governments around the world. When they're just here's a whole bunch of information that we got. Boom. Does everyone just immediately believe it? And
so how is that different than the end?
Hold on, let me read chat real fast, guys.
Oh, all right.
So Zamobi said, okay, this is where the ending left me. I had thought the entire time I was watching the show, there's no way in hell they aren't gonna die. I carried that through the end, and when it happened, it didn't faze me as bad as it should have, which is a shame. The ending I thought was okay. I'm really glad their voice were heard, and I got what they wanted. And then about how everything, the facility got spilled. It sucks that they had to die. What was his joke? Ah, that's funny. I get it. He said, joke time. Why did Zankyou no Terror only had episodes 11? Because 12 didn't make it.
Ah.
And then Mark said, I understand that they had to die. It's just how they die was really, this is how they go out. Zelda's depressed. I did like the first half a lot more, but my favorite sequence of events was probably the whole airport scene. The whole scenario was really suspenseful for me. It was really interesting with all the cool tricks they did. I feel like they would have been more satisfied with the ending if two main boys were captured and tried in court and served their time. I don't think them dying added the reaction they were aiming for. A lot of words. The first half was definitely more interesting for me personally, but agreeing with Mark, the whole airport sequence was really a high point. That's a point where the one guy brings up, he tells Saki, you may know this information, you can scream it all you want, but no one will listen, or someone think along.
I really like the airport scene. Oh, yeah?
Airport was really good.
That was real cool.
The reason why it's different is because if they were just hey, Project Athena, blah blah blah, here's the information, they could, whoever could have denied it, blah blah blah. the fact that they went through everything they did and the American government got involved, that's what brought it was a different government brought the Japanese government's Project Athena to light because of this. And
They already knew about it before they even started doing anything in the show.
right, because they had
They
five.
dismantled it.
Yeah, but then because of this whole thing with everything coming out, they didn't want people to know that they were involved, which is why they shot and killed the kid. But then afterwards, they were the ones who were like, okay, well, we're going to investigate this and stuff. Where if 9 and 12 didn't actually do any of the stuff they did, it just, nothing would have ever happened. Like, it never would have come to light. It would have stayed a secret.
So wait, what's the argument we're having here? Just to recap.
I'm saying there's no difference between if they had just put all the information out on Project Athena onto the internet and the actual ending where they detonate the prototype device over and cause the EMP over Tokyo.
Oh. Well, I think I'm just gonna say it. It wouldn't be an anime if that's just what they did.
Yeah,
They gotta be.
It's good for
They gotta be
the
flashy. That's
story,
why.
and it's gotta fill 11 episodes.
I guess you could say that's a loophole. They're genius hackers. They could just grab all this information, reportedly as ooh, but no, they wanted to show the world, blah 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 blah, and get revenge at the same time, all that goody two shit. But it's fucking anime.
Well,
Got to keep it spicy.
Well, I mean, I brought that up. That's what I brought up was, people at WikiLeaks in the real world right now hack and get a bunch of information and just go, here you go, internet, here's the information, and dump it and go, here's a bunch of stuff that world governments are doing wrong. Here's all the proof for it. And nothing happens with it. Like, maybe sometimes, like, somebody will find something in there and be like, oh man, look at, there's proof for, Hillary's email scam thing. Blah. And it'll blow up on the news for a little while and, like, people will talk about it. But, like, something like this, like, where there was, like, testing on kids, just because they dumped the information doesn't mean anything's going to happen. They're not going to get revenge. It's not going to actually come to light. They'll just be like, oh, hacker kids making stuff up, man.
Yeah, but it's
The
not going to
government
come
will
to
deny
light.
it.
It's not going to come to light if they detonate an EMP either. People are just going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about them or their link to anything because they don't have any information on Project Athena. It would have been a lot more effective because that would have actually been the only way that anything actually links them to that.
Well, in the end,
Yeah,
everyone died.
It didn't seem like they were going for their goal at the end. They were just trying to be flashy.
I can agree to that.
Yeah, maybe. The last thing
Yeah, seems like they lost
was
sight of what
probably
they were
them
going
being
for.
flashy, but I mean, they were kind of slightly at odds with each other as well. 9 and 12.
Just a little side note. Lisa had fucking Stockholm syndrome, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Because, like,
Stockholm syndrome?
it's kind of like when you remember Beauty and the Beast? Like, she would never fall in love with Beast if she wasn't kidnapped by him. The thing is, Lisa already had a bad life at home, so when she ran away to them, she was like, oh, everyone fucking hates me. Might as well go to my only friends, the terrorist. So
Pretty
it's
much.
like, yeah.
It-
And they treated her like somewhat like a person, even though she was pretty much a pawn in each one of their plans, and eventually got a bomb strapped to her chest,
Yep.
So it's just like,
But one of them had a change of heart because he saw a normal girl. He was like, I want to be normal too.
100% had Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, okay, good. Perfect confirmation. Awesome. I remember being. Oh, I think we already mentioned that none of us liked Lisa, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we were supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't think we were supposed to especially like or dislike a lot of the characters. Like I said, I don't think this was specifically about, like, the
Character
characters
development.
themselves. It was
Yeah.
more about the story.
Mm. everyone was pretty neutral, huh? I had a question lined up, but I completely forgot what it was. So let's go ahead and ask chat. What did you guys think about the anime overall? Like, is there anything, I guess, like, your favorite terrorist act? I think that was my question. Your favorite terrorist act. Go.
You know, before we do favorite,
That
I
sounded
fucking hate
awful.
it. Okay, the airport scene was cool. I think them playing chess was fucking stupid after rewatching it. I was like, some random bitch is gonna come in here and just play chess in the airport. And
I thought
another
that was
thing,
pretty
which
cool.
piece is being moved.
yeah,
I thought that
right?
was so cool.
Exactly. And then, because it didn't make sense to me, I'm like, how the fuck are they playing chess? What are they even doing? Like, that shit was stupid. It was cool scene though, because it was like, ooh, where's the bomb? Ooh, we gotta find the bomb. Ooh, suspense. How we gonna distract them? And, hide it under the camera and all. But like, and then the police guy come here is like, all right, where's the bomb gonna be? Like, really loud in a fucking airport. Like, dude, how more can you be? How less discreet can you be about a bomb in a fucking airport? Like, are you kidding me? I was like, come on, man, be a bit more realistic.
That kind of goes to what my favorite terrorist scene was in the whole anime. It was a fucking airport.
Like,
fucking Larry.
God.
Yeah, you're right though.
I was watching. I was like, this is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. I was like, why? And then like, why does the U.S. government have so much power over the Japanese government in this fucking anime? She's just gonna come in like, oh, I'm gonna put a bomb in an airplane just to fuck with my friends that we were kids with once. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what does she have to do with anything? They just want to make their plan, make themselves big, announce themselves. This bitch comes in like, hey man, you want to play some chess with like bombs? Like, what the fuck was Five's point? Fucking stupid. Fuck that shit. I like the first terrorist attack where they set up bombs and melted steel beams with chemical reactions. That was pretty cool.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
You know what else is the bomb? Fucking our sponsor at
Cosplay
hobbyholics.com. Thank you. that one too. Did you guys know that there was a play made on this? There's like a full live action play where people are completely decked out in costumes. There's like fire on stage and shit, and it ran for about 2 months in Japan, and it was like a pretty big deal actually. It was just as big as a production as the Haikyuu play.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I saw some of it. They're pretty fucking good over there in Japan. Like their thespians they have over there, it's pretty fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I love the lesbians from Japan.
The thespians.
He knows exactly what you said.
He does know.
I know exactly what you said, but it's a P, not a B. That's why I said lesbians.
It's thespians? You're right, it is. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You mixed
I did.
thespian and lesbian
I'm
together,
yeah.
so I just went straight lesbian.
You know what? I don't know what 5 sexuality is, so I could be wrong. I could be right. To some degree, I could be right.
She's just a bitch. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, that kiss, and always wanting to win a game against him, and the kiss. I think that kind of might point what 5's sexuality was.
Since we did plan for this to be a relatively short podcast, considering that we're out one person, I want to go ahead and read chat, and if you guys have any other things to state about this anime, let's go ahead and review them. If not, then let's give our final thoughts.
Let's see, we're gonna start. 100% Stockholm syndrome. Yes, Mark said I thought so too, and then Zoe was like, I'm trying to get a hold of the story, and he goes, never mind. Fuck. And Mark goes, I don't mind Lisa. I didn't like or hate her. She was just there. Yeah, I feel the same way. She was just there. Lisa's a plot device. She was there to expand 12s and get bombs strapped to her by 5. Yeah, she was this character development, or if there really was any. She was a motive. That's what she was, because that's why he wanted to switch. It spices up. She was the twist. No, not CS:GO. Batosai, and then Marcos. I thought overall it was pretty solid. My favorite terrorist act was probably the first building scene. See, the first building scene when they blew it up with the plushies. It was really set tone of how the anime was gonna feel. That was pretty cool. Yeah, they did a good job for it being the second episode. Or no, that was first episode. Yeah. Zelda cried so much. Airport scene is definitely on there. The first bombing is pivotal to set up the characters. Yeah, yes. Love the airport scene, but I only wanted to do the one Spice Sphinx. Zelda's face palm keyboard. 5. I hit a 5. She was the one thing that dragged the show down for me. Yeah, she came in randomly and just fucking had no plot. She was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna fuck your plans up." That's literally her entire thing. She comes in, she goes, "I'm gonna fuck your plans up." That was it. Stupid. And then but Toy Story 5 was my favorite character. Yeah, right. And then Zelda goes pain, sex, and drugs, yay. And then best character development ever. 5 had not even a past. They thought she died. She didn't die. She's back for more games, played games, and then killed herself. Like that was it. After rewatching it, it was like, okay, I like the Death Note-ness and the intelligent aspect. Oh, riddles. Oh, yes, I love riddles. Oh, they're playing us. Oh, they're playing the games. They're smart, intelligent people. You know, they're high schoolers. More Death Note-y like. But
I mean, you know why 5 killed herself, right?
huh?
You know why 5 killed herself, right?
No, I don't remember.
Because she was gonna die from the experimentation
drugs.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
That's why they kept
Okay.
grabbing for their heads.
I
as they
keep
were dying.
forgetting about the drug thingy. Like I felt like it was lightly touched. Maybe I just.
I think they made enough of a point of it.
But yeah, pretty much.
Like, they were all going to die anyway, which is why when Mark was talking about the best ending would have been them getting arrested and going to have a court case and have jail time. Like, that was never going to happen.
There are some series out there that kill off the characters at the end. Not gonna say what. It can be done well. It can be done absolutely awfully. I think it's done pretty well here. They were getting close to death anyway. They didn't get, everything. I feel like a lot of what 9 and 12 were going for, they had to assume a lot of things. Number one, they had to assume that detective was probably one of the greatest detectives on the planet Earth. Because if he didn't figure out, that the EMP was going to go off, a lot of people would have died. And if he didn't figure it out as fast as he did, still a good amount of people died. If he was not even a little bit less competent than he was, bad things would have happened. At the end, everything is revealed and the media starts covering Project Athena and the people that were involved. I don't really know how. I guess it's kind of assumed that the detective kind of found a way, but they could have also just given the information to people. There are news platforms out there that would be eager to look into that kind of thing.
Again, going down that route, there would have been no anime or point for a story if that's what they were going to do. Like,
but when you're going for realism, which is clearly they did try on many levels to do that, and to have extremely intelligent characters, that is the plot hole that you will dig yourself into.
Yeah, going for realism and having intelligent characters, where the smartest thing to do would have been, hey, here, news platform, here's the information. Okay, then there's no story, there's no anime at all to watch, and there's no guarantee that the information will actually get out before they die. Like, they still didn't really have a guarantee, but at least with what they were doing, like they knew somebody would have looked into something, and most likely all of the Project Athena stuff would have come out.
But wouldn't it have been more likely if the information was already out from one of their prior things? They're like, well, these people detonated a nuclear device over a major city and caused a wide-scale blackout. We should probably look into that stuff that they were saying was happening.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it would have hurt them to release information
I don't
alongside
believe it
the
would have
information
either.
on their investigation. I
They
don't
just
know.
didn't do it.
There's a little bit unanswered as to how everything starts at the end, but it is just kind of as soon as they die, it just kind of becomes, she's sad, they're gone, they're dead. The detective is continuing on with his life. The news outlets are reporting on Project Athena. That's how it wraps up.
Yep.
No, you're Gabby. My mic isn't broken. I was just letting them have their conversation. Does anyone have anything else to mention about the anime before,
Well, the music is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like it as much, actually.
It felt very much like, the
Shut your
pillows in Fully
goddamn
Cooley to
mouth.
me.
So I am going to say it
Right?
did very well in that it was background. It is not something that I remember it as. It didn't stand out, but it did
No
very
comment.
well
You
to
go wrong.
capture tone of the scenes that it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say exact same thing as Sunny. It did very well capturing tone, feeling for the scene, but it's not memorable music. Yeah, I was gonna say exact same thing. So I was
It's
gonna say
good
the animation was
background.
pretty fucking good too,
Oh, yeah.
and it was also okay. You have the what's an anime that's anyway, okay, we all seen Blend S, right?
No.
Nope.
Load that fast. What's another one like Blends S? Okay, you have fuck. The anime looked different.
Uh-huh.
It looked different. Like what I
Yeah.
mean, like it looks. It's a kind of unique looking anime. Like if you looked at a GIF, that's Zankyou no Terror. Like it's not that basic ass shit. And I always appreciate that when the art is just like they take a different approach. Like Kofku.
Yeah.
Kofku is different art. Kokuku. That one's different art style. It's
Not
kind of
generic.
unique. It's not generic. And thank you for not being generic. Because when you hit generic, somewhere along the line there's gonna be like some kind of fan service and bullshit. It just focus on story.
I would say the last thing that this show is generic. It's a
Yeah,
very
the last thing
Yeah.
it is.
it is
generic.
a very sensitive subject in the world, and
terrorism.
what the two characters did actually die at the end. That is also not a very common thing to have at the end of a show. Even though they were going to die anyway, generally you don't actually see them shot in
Mhm.
the scene in the show in the last episode.
Right.
It felt very unique, and the show is very unique.
And I thought it was very well done. Like
Yes.
overall as a thing.
A thing.
Yeah, a comment
Things are good.
on at the time like current world culture and stuff that was going on.
I can't remember 4 years ago. I can barely remember like 2 days ago. So
I just remember when it like I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I remember when this came out there were like somewhere that, like there had been some terrorist attacks recently when this first came out. It might have been what, a France train bombing or something, or there's
I tried
been
looking
so
it up.
many. There's been so many terrorist attack things in the past like 10
Yeah.
years that it's hard to remember which ones happened where at what time, because I don't have a good memory like that.
I looked it up with, while you guys were talking, and apparently, the most horrific terrorist attacks have happened in 2014. Apparently, due to statistics, they say 81% more deaths due to terrorism in 2014 alone, which is fucked.
So, yeah,
most,
well,
most
when
of them
this
are
came
war
out-
crimes. Yeah.
Yeah, when this came out, it was very much like a pointed story about current events that were happening.
Yeah.
in the world.
Well, now that you say that, yeah, this actually is this wasn't adapted. This was original. So, yeah, probably was. I don't know when it was written. I don't know where you would begin figuring out how the story was written or when, but this was not adapted from something. So, anime original right there.
Mm.
At least that's
So
what
if
my anime list tells me.
we're all done talking about it, let's go ahead and give our final thoughts and ratings for the anime. Larry, do you want to go ahead and reach out real fast?
Let's see where we left. So I think we left off when Gab had joined in. Oh no, music was fantastic. Oh wait, okay, marker here. Overall, I give this an anime an 8 out of 10. The story was really interesting and it was super suspenseful throughout for me, and it made me want to see more after each episode. The first half I thought was better than the second half. I do agree, but the second half still had its moments I liked. The second half was all about story. The music was fantastic and the animation was pretty solid. Animation was good. I was gonna say it too. If you like suspense, I definitely recommend this anime. Hoi! Hello. You guys having your conversation.
Boy.
Mark goes, I love the music. It fits really well with the moment. Oh yeah, I totally forgot how the music sounded. But I remember liking it as I heard it. Yeah, not memorable, but very good. Very fits the anime. I have an issue of not realizing there is background music. I can't remember any of it. Yeah, I mean, and it's not good enough. That's just how it is. I've seen Blends S. We all, yeah, you guys. Then Zelda's like, yeah, Harrison. Yes. Don't get the CIA watching us. The only thing I remember about wait, you know what? Get the CIA watching us. Give us those views. The only thing I remember about the 2014 was one of my favorite games coming out. Oh god, he said 9/11. That's gonna work. Definitely gonna work now. And yeah, that's it for chat.
All right, final thoughts, guys. From what I could remember, because I should have rewatched this anime, but I stopped after I thought we wouldn't get another person today with the anime thing, so I stopped halfway through.
Barely edged out.
Yeah, barely, just barely, which I regret now not completely refreshing my memory because I really wish I was part more of the conversation. From what I can remember, I liked it a lot, but I did have my problems with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10. I recommend if you're not super sensitive on these issues, like if it's not like super close to you. I guess that's all I gotta say about that because I can't remember most of it. The boys are cute. There you go.
Which is why we ended up watching it.
Because there is cute boys. Larry? Larry?
Wait,
Larry's
what happened?
dead.
Like something. It was like really loud audio, so I couldn't.
Final
hear what happened.
thoughts.
Final thoughts. You know, when I first watched this anime, I was like, God damn, it's so fucking good. Ah! And after rewatching, I'm like, yeah, it was like, you know, drink some tea.
The suspense added a lot to the original.
Yeah, this suspense. But the thing is, I didn't watch this when I first watched this. I didn't watch this. I didn't watch it with suspense. I binged it as well, and it was still fucking good. But you know, when you rewatch things, you kind of get like mad at certain things. Yeah, I think I got mad at number 5 now because she was just useless this entire time.
I was mad at 5 in the
like
first watch.
after seeing when 5 came in, I kind of realized this is just fucking kids fucking playing a game at each other with bombs and people's lives at stake. It was really fucking annoying. But like they're like what they were doing was okay, they have a purpose, they have this, they have that, they have, you know, all this shit. 5 came in, oh, we're gonna play chess with bombs and your girlfriend's gonna die. And it's like, hello, I thought, you know, what, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I give it about a 7, though. It's still really fucking good with all this Death Note kind of. I like how they explain shit, you know, like, hey, how did they melt the beams? Oh, you know, with chemical reaction with the, you know, fucking bombs. You know, just teach me how to make a bomb in an anime. Thanks. You know, I don't have to type it in and get watched by CIA. Just watch some anime. You know, it's good.
Pretty easy.
So did you rate it by number?
He did. He said
Oh, okay.
7.
Okay, Silver, go ahead.
So I did not rewatch this because I knew, like, because I watched this week to week, and there was the suspense, and I I really liked this when I first watched it, and I knew rewatching it / binging it without the actual like week-long suspense of wondering what's going to happen in the next episode would really detract from, like, not really detract. You can like Larry said, you could binge it and the suspense is still there, but you get like instant gratification, so it might be a little bit better on the first watch through. But I know rewatching it would have brought up a lot of points where it's like, oh, well, they could have done that better. They could have done this better. They could have, and I wanted to keep the original feeling of when I first watched it and how good I thought it was and how, like, strong it felt going through it week to week, and waiting for the new episodes. So I didn't rewatch it, didn't refresh my memory. But I would still like. I mean, I still give this. I'd only give this an 8. It was really good, but it's not like a perfect anime. The first watch through, there's still problems. But it's still really good. I would recommend it. I would recommend it even if, terrorism is close to your heart. If if you hold terrorism in your heart, you should really watch this. I mean, it might make you rethink things. You might you might take that little bit of terrorism out of your heart.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say.
The world needs
about-
more peace. Silver 2020. Here we go.
Oh my god.
I see what he was saying, even if it didn't sound that good on the outside.
It almost for a second seemed like you were glorifying terrorism.
All
Almost
okay,
for a
yep.
second.
World peace.
Silver
Okay.
keeps it 100.
Jeez.
Alright, Sunny, go ahead.
Okay. First time I watched this, pretty normal. I didn't like the second half. The first half was very interesting. It was very unique. The show overall was unique, but there are a lot of problems with the second half. It gets very... It pays a lot more attention to detail than a lot of other shows do when it comes to things like, the science behind it, and especially going into the like computer technology, and they're talking about what's happening. Is there any way to do this and this? That does, like I said earlier, that does hit it back quite a bit later on, because some things are not so realistic, some things are. The show overall, there are some things that I liked more the second watch, because I did rewatch this. Some things I liked more. There are some things, like 5, that I liked a lot less. So I'm gonna give it probably somewhere near the same that I gave it back then, which is a 6 out of 10.
Alright. Let's work on that overall score right now.
There's I need to find
Oh, we're
marks.
waiting for marks, yeah.
8. He gave it an 8.
Perfect.
Larry didn't read that, I don't think.
I did.
Oh, Larry.
Back. Oh, I don't remember you reading out the number because I didn't type it out. 7.2 overall.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good 7.
I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this to too many people. It's a good... Yet again, good in some ways, not good in others. The subject matter is rather sensitive. I feel like for thriller, there's better out there. For action, there's better out there. But overall, this is a very unique show.
Can we
So,
add Z
you know.
to the list?
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sunny. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was done.
I agree. Maybe not recommend it to everybody, especially like if they're barely into anime. Definitely not. I think they had to be into a really specific genre, right?
Yeah.
Adding Zmobi's score made it go up to a 7.25.
Yeah, I'd say this is a 7.25.
So it brought it up by
7.25.
it brought it up by a whole nickel.
Nickels are good. several nickels eventually make $1, and then several dollars eventually make 100, and then several hundred makes 1,000. You know, math.
Maths.
Maths.
Plural. There's more than one.
So I hope you guys had fun today talking about terrorism and bombs and stuff. But you know what's the best bomb in the world? Hobbyholics.com. Hobbyholics.com is sponsor of this episode and all of our episodes. If you guys are into plastic model kits or want to get an anime figure, because we know you're here because you're filthy weebs, you can get all your anime figures at hobbyholics.com.
You can also pay your Verizon phone bill.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, you can. Let's hope you speak Korean, though,
Why?
because it's in a Korean Verizon store. Hobbyholics.
I mean,
Okay.
It's inside a Korean Verizon
That's
store.
really interesting.
Fun factoid.
in case
And
you're going to look for it and you need to find it, the front of it looks like a Verizon cell phone store. Do not be off-put. Walk into the Verizon cell phone store and go, I am here for plastic crack. And
They'll
you
pull
will
back
be-
a curtain. Yeah, they'll
you,
guide
they,
you
you'll
to the back.
they literally pull
Showered
back a
with
curtain.
plastic.
They will literally pull back a curtain and be like, come on back here. It's in the back.
Anyway,
We got
you
the good
cop.
stuff.
And the other sponsor.
The other sponsors, yeah. If you guys are lacking clothes and want to demonstrate your love for anime, you guys can also head over to one of our other sponsors, weebapparel.com. Weeb Apparel is a sponsor for this episode and all of the Anime Analytics episodes because they love us and we love them, and it's just a nice little happy
Hey, Diggy,
wearing clothes and demonstrating. Yeah?
I have a problem.
What's
My
your
hairline
problem?
is
God.
receding.
Your
My
hair-
hairline is
your
receding.
hairline is receding?
How am I gonna fix that problem, Diggy?
Maybe go bald.
Do you
Oh,
hate your
no.
hair? Do you not have any hair? Do you want hair? Do you want
I
anime
want
hair?
I want
Go to
anime
Epic
hair.
Cosplay Wigs.
This
Get
is
What-
epic.
Can
Wait,
I get my
Silver out
hair
Diggy
in
this
like
week.
any
Really?
color, styles, and like forms? Is that true?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Well,
so you're telling me I can
Almost
have
any style.
my dramatical murder hair?
Yes, Epic
Epic
Cosplay
Cosplay
Wigs.
Wigs.
Oh,
Can make you look like any
My
character
God.
you want from the forehead up.
Get,
Uh,
Super Saiyan Goku
results
hair.
may vary.
Results may vary.
It may need to apply self-time into wig.
Zelda Gold Games. I need them
Alright.
all. So, there's no vote for next week's anime because we're not watching an anime for next week. Manga Monthly, because I guess that won something because it's no longer called
Yes.
Anime on Paper. What if you could read anime? The next-
Something.
We haven't had a new vote for a new name for it yet, have
We're
we?
gonna talk about manga next week.
We're gonna talk
manga
about
next week.
comic books that are from Japan.
comic
Dead
books
Man
from
Wonderland.
Japan.
Chapters 1 through 12.
Dead Man Wonderland. So that's next week. And
It's
if
good
you
and
guys...
it's much better than the anime.
I'm actually really
Agreed.
excited to reading it. I have yet to read it. I think I'll start tonight. That way I'm not left behind again.
If you want that Tien Napa look, you can do it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Napa?
Epic Cosplay Wigs probably sells bald caps.
Oh yeah, probably.
I mean,
Probably.
I mean, they
Yeah.
must because you have to put a bald cap on if you really want to wear a wig correctly.
that's true. Well, not
So
a
it doesn't
bald
get-
cap, but like hairnet.
Yeah, hairnet, a thing to keep your hair down so it doesn't make the wig all lumpy. Go check
There
out
you
Epic
go.
Cosplay Wigs and see if they can make you bald.
And so in
See if
2
they can
weeks.
make you bald.
In 2
2
weeks.
In 2 weeks, yes.
That is
Are
an
we,
inbred cat.
We're gonna go for what we want to make Echo watch, right?
Yes! We know we
Yep.
say that right now. Okay, so not next week, but the week after that, the date will be
The
the
23rd.
23rd. We're gonna be watching fucking oh my god, I forgot the name. Your Lie in
Lie in
April.
Aw,
which is
fuck
20
me!
Yeah.
Which is 24 episodes, and if you guys watch it for the first time just to discuss it with us, you're gonna fucking hate us, but that's okay because it's worth the watch.
That show is so good.
I'll give you my rating
can't
now.
wait.
It's a 10 out of 10.
I can't wait to
gonna
make
go-
Echo watch it.
Gonna go fucking rage poop right now.
Good luck.
Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm gonna go ahead and host it. Call me Danny XD because he's streaming for the first time in a while. We want to show him some support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna roll these credits. You guys want to say bye?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.